There was a nice comment by this Biku on Reddit. He said, you should aim for rahatship, really, from the start. And if you can't get there, like, you get stream entry in this live, okay, that's also good enough. But you don't get stream entry by, okay, I don't want those higher attainments because I don't want to actually let go of my sensuality or whatever. You won't get anything with that attitude. So you have to be willing, okay, to let go of everything from the start. So people say, okay, but stream enters, not all of them were like monks. Okay, there were stream enters who were not celibate. That doesn't mean that their values were in line with your values. Doesn't mean their values are still with sensuality. So you have, for example, you have poor people in the world for various reasons. That it doesn't mean all poor people don't value money. Does it mean that because they are poor they don't value money? Because that would how it would translate to like the middle path. Middle path is the value of non-sensuality, and like sensual world values like money and pleasure, but not all people have money and pleasure. But it doesn't mean they don't value that. So not everyone following the middle path will have jhanas, celibacy, perfect restraint. But it doesn't mean that their values aren't there. It doesn't mean that they say, "Oh, okay, I don't need to be celibate or whatever." They are not excusing themselves. They know the result. They know the weight of their action. They know defiling aspect of sensuality. They know what they are doing. They are not putting up layers of ignorance while engaging with sensuality. That is actually what a streamer cannot do. He can engage sensuality, but he can ignore now all of the negative and ugly and unpleasant and burdensome and suffering that comes with that sensuality. He has to like face those unpleasantness, and for that it won't be like a putujanas engagement with sensuality. It won't be actually like pleasant that much. So so I saw a lot of people, who go to retreats, who visit monasteries, who study, Buddhism, and they don't even like question the their basic value with sensuality, their valuing pleasure, and they start judging like Buddhism. I mean, he spends a lot of time in monasteries. Oh, these people are just what to say, putting what golden handcuffs. They are just abstaining from those pleasures for no reason. Really, they are missing out, for no reason. it's bad for them actually, for those monks. We should like kind of abolish those monasteries because like they are like misguided. It is what he's implying. I'm paraphrasing, but it's what he was implying. These people are misguided because my values, are correct and their values are wrong. That's his reasoning. And if you are not even willing to question your values, whatever external, there were like in the Buddha's time, like there were like extreme ascetics, but they were not free of sensuality. So you could be like that. Even this person like spent a lot of time in monasteries and retreats. He has this 100% zeal about his value in sensuality, and there were like monks. There was a monk in the Buddha Sangha with that view. He was like a celibate monk who knows for how many years. There's like perfect restraint, okay? And his view was okay, there is nothing wrong, with sensuality. You can be restrained, you cannot be restrained. Doesn't matter really. I am restrained for whatever reason, but you might as well not be. Nowadays, there is like a lot of people that view, a lot of Buddhists with that view. And that's like a really bad view. Like even like it's in the wrong views. That's like a real bad wrong view to have. I mean, uh, that monk, the Buddha held this public humiliation trial for them. I mean, there were many monks who could, yeah, who weren't like perfect restraint. The Buddha weren't that harsh to them. Yeah, I mean, you can fail in your actions, but that is not as bad as, nearly as bad as failing in your views. So the difference between like a putujana engaging with sensuality and a noble disciple engaging with sensuality, like their views and their values are like opposite direction. Okay. This is that difference. And at the other, contrast, you can have perfect restraint putujana with full on zeal in sensuality, for example. There are people like that. I personally know people like that. They've been living like perfect, almost restraint for whatever reason, not personal choice, probably for religious reason or whatever. But they still like hasn't questioned the value in sensuality. Because I know a religious person. He was asked, I think, an Islamic scholar for He's been religious for whole his life. He's like extremely religious person. And I saw him saying like, if Allah didn't, forbid those things, he would just indulge. He would indulge in promiscuity, intoxicants, everything. There'd be like no reason for him not to. So, which actually means you can live whole your life with full on restraint, but you can like 100% restraint, and your values can be like 100% in sensuality. And that's like real sad, because I am actually like trying to convince some of these people, look, you are already restrained, okay? I mean, there is like not externally, you don't have to like externally do a lot of things to like get this attainment, for example. You just internally like align your values with your behavior. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard, really. But it's like they just resist. I don't know why. Because if you're able to do, endure, these pressures, it shouldn't be that hard to question them. In their nature, they refuse to look in that direction. They will restrain, but they won't like question their values. There's like most vast majority of people are like that. So technically, you can get stream entry without being fully, 100% celibate, living in harsh environment, enduring heat, cold, sticks, stones, rain, just stoic endurance all the time. Technically, you can get stream entry without doing all of these, but you can't get stream entry without you willing to do all of these things. Do you see the difference? You may not be celibate, okay? You are married and you don't want to like break your marriage right away, okay? But you don't even want to like question the value. You just outright excuse, yourself. And then there is like no way, because the path to streamentry goes in the direction of undermining the value of sensuality. So you have to be willing, okay, to endure that. You need to have the attitude of patient endurance. So like, for example, Ayan Anomaly says like you should be able to endure boredom like for a few hours, for a couple hours. You should try, if you are able to, at least just see. And people are just panicking all over the place. Oh, Do I have to like spend my whole life doing nothing but staring at the wall? No. So, not really, but why not? I mean, would that be? You should question if that is like that's bothering you. That thought. I mean, why would it be a problem? So, for example, you could be like accused of murder for somebody, like, put on accusation, false accusation, and you're jailed for life in a cell. You have done nothing about it. Now you have to stare at the wall for your entire life. Uh, I mean, you should be okay with that, really. Like, internally, you should be aiming to have that uh, equanimity, that composure, that that patiently endurance attitude. You should aim to have that attitude, really. That's the point, really. You don't have to stare at the wall for all the rest of your life, but it the thought of it shouldn't really be bothering you. Okay, you should be okay with doing nothing. You should be okay with boredom, with neutral feeling. And whatever, external things, heat, cold, loneliness, people are just afraid, being lonely, being alone. You should really be okay with being alone, because there's like a important sutta people tend to overlook. People who delight in company, there is no possibility that they will get supplementary. There's like zero chance. So you should be like dwelling your natural environment, like natural dwelling should be solitude, really. Yeah, you should delight in solitude, actually. That that would be